time, screen sharing,
Saying
turned it
saying
off.
it's being live streamed. That's what I'm seeing.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Let me go
Time
back,
sharing.
which doesn't really matter now because we're close enough to the
Saying it's
date.
being live streamed. That's what I'm seeing.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Okay. Let me go back.
Um, Whoever is not wearing a
Doesn't
headset,
really matter
please
now
mute
because we're close
yourself
enough
because
to the
I'm
date.
hearing
Live
myself.
stream. That's what I'm seeing. Yes. Yep. All right. Okay. Let me go back.
Whoever is not wearing a
Doesn't
headset,
really matter
please
now
mute
because we're
yourself
close enough to
because
the
I'm
date.
hearing
Live
myself.
stream. That's what I'm seeing. Yes. Yep. All right. Okay. Let me go back.
Whoever is not wearing a
Doesn't
headset,
really matter now
mute
because we're
yourself
close enough to
because
the
I'm
date.
hearing
Live
myself.
stream. That's what I'm seeing. Yes. Yep. All right. Okay. Let me go back.
Whoever is not wearing a
Doesn't
headset,
really matter now
mute
because we're
yourself
close enough
because
to the
I'm
date.
hearing
Live
myself.
stream. That's what I'm seeing. Yes. Yep. All right. Okay. Let me go back.
Whoever is not wearing a
Doesn't
headset,
really matter now because we're close enough to the date. Live stream. That's what I'm seeing.
Weird echo.
Yeah, I know it's not stopping. All right, it finally stopped. All right. Where is okay. Who
Yeah,
is
I
not stopping? All right, it finally stopped. All right. Who is iPhone number 3?
Not me. I'm Android.
I can't hear anything for some reason.
Ah, that's because yeah. Um Dave, is that you on iPhone number 3? David, is that you?
That's me. I can hear you now.
Okay, okay, yeah. No, we were having audio issues, so I think everybody muted themselves. If that happens again, just everybody mute. If you're wearing a headset, you should be okay. But I think everybody's mics was picking up me talking, and I think that was causing the issue, and then it was then playing again and again and again and again because there is a couple second delay. All right, so Rod emailed me earlier today stating that he would not be able to make it. Um, do you guys need a copy of the agenda? Because I believe I sent it out last week. Um, do you need me to resend it to you?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll just go ahead and let's see, make sure we are good. How many people? Live stream. All right, so we do have a few people. All right. So if there are any members who are watching who have any questions, when we get to that section of the meeting, you can post them in the live chat. Um, and then we'll either answer them or I will provide a copy of um, I will provide a call and phone number for you if it comes to that. Otherwise, how about we begin? If the board is ready.
Ready when you are, John.
All right, I will call to meeting the order at 5:31 p.m. on May 29th, 2024. Um, I guess actually, let me go ahead and stop that since we officially called the meeting to order. Do you guys want to sound off? Yeah, we'll do that. So why don't you sound off for your attendance?
All right. So Don Becker's vice president and I think treasurer now. I'm here. I'm president accounted for.
Yes, we're going to make that official today.
David Akers is here.
Smitty?
Hey, Smitty, you there?
Yeah, present.
All right, Smitty's here. All right, good. Thank you. Quorum of the board is here. Proof of notice.
There,
I
Yeah, present.
All right, Smitty's here. All right, good. Thank you. Quorum of the board is here. Proof of notice. All right, Smitty, I muted you because you got to mute yourself because I keep hearing myself through your audio. Proof of notice. I sent an email out on Friday. Since we were closed on Monday, I obviously couldn't do it then, so it went out on Friday. Proof of notice. I sent an email out on Friday. Do we want to go through the meeting minutes of the last meeting?
That was was that the annual one that we really didn't have?
Yes, there are meeting minutes for it. If the board would like me to, I will read them. Otherwise, if someone wants to make a motion to waive them, that is fine.
Unless anybody really needs to hear them, they're not going to be very long, but I'd make the motion to waive the reading of the minutes from the last meeting.
I second that.
Oh. All right. I don't believe we have any officer reports or committee reports. So, I mean, unless any of the officers have anything to report, we'll move on.
I have nothing to report.
I have nothing to report either.
All right. Roger Bernard submitted a letter of resignation. He was one of the people that was on the board. We didn't have an official meeting at our annual to recognize it, so we will officially recognize his letter of resignation was as of when he submitted it, but we will officially notice it in the meeting minutes for this meeting. And I believe we discussed that David was going to assume the vice president and treasurer position. So if someone could make a motion for that, we will notate that.
Dave Akers makes a motion.
Smitty, do you second?
Second it.
Thank you, sir. All right. New business. So this is the main reason why we're having this meeting. So first item for new business is the illegal dumping that has been occurring on River Ridge Boulevard. If you guys want to talk about what we previously discussed and what our solution is.
Well, we've got some people, we've got some residents online, correct?
Yes, it appears to be.
Okay, I'd recommend just do a quick once over, just so people are kind of aware of what's going on.
Yes, but by all means, that's what I was throwing the floor to the board.
Oh, okay. So, well, let me attempt because I'm on my phone. I don't have my my emails up or anything right now. So, good afternoon, everybody. So, we have, like John just referenced, we have had somebody, we do not know whom at this point, dumping large amounts of trash, and I think it was like some furniture items, right, and some utilities, some appliances, John.
Yes, there was random appliances, sometimes couches, furniture,
Yeah,
that sort of a thing.
a whole lot of stuff that unfortunately we have to pay to get rid of, and that's why it's being dumped there, because somebody doesn't want to pay to do it themselves. It did not happen once, but it happened twice, at least twice that I'm aware of, correct?
Yes, at least twice, possibly three times, I think.
In the past, right? And they might have
In
dumped
the
some
last 6 to 9 months.
Yeah. So what we were discussing is one of two things. First of all, putting up signs. I know a lot of people aren't fans of signs, and a lot of people will say, well, nobody reads the signs, and that may be the case. But in a lot of cases, literally in the case, if you take somebody to court, if you've got the sign up that says no trespassing, no dumping, you've got a stronger case. I'm not a lawyer, but I've seen and I've heard about this before, especially in the state of Florida. So the cost of a sign versus the cost of the return on investment being us winning a court case, if we actually catch somebody, that's going to be huge. So my first recommendation would be to the board. Can I make a motion right now, John?
Yes, absolutely. That's the
Okay.
whole purpose. You guys are going to be making
Okay.
motions and
All right,
doing
so
all of
I'm
that.
making
So
a motion that we do have a no trespassing, private property, no dumping sign installed in the location in the area around where this illegal dumping's been taking place.
I second that.
All right, thanks,
all
Smitty.
in favor?
I'm in favor.
That's aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. The second part is the dumping itself. So again, we have to pay for that. And I think the first time was, John, correct me if I'm wrong again. I apologize. I don't have the notes up. I think it was about $600 the first time. And the second time, I
Yes.
think it was roughly three to $400 the second time. So we're already investing stuff in that. What we talked about before, what we had emailed back and forth was putting trail cams out there. Put a couple trail cams out there, try to catch who they're doing it. Hopefully, the signs will be a deterrent. If it's the same person doing it, the thought process is they pull up, they know they're doing it, they know they're wrong in the first place. Now they see signs exactly where they've been dumping it. Hopefully it'll be a deterrent and they'll think, well, maybe they've got trail cameras out there. Well, hopefully they're going to be right, because my second motion is make the motion that we put trail cameras. I think we talked about getting a pack of 4 of them out in the area of the dumping to where we can actually catch people, vehicles, including license plates, and people actually doing it in the act if they continue to do it again. So I make that motion. We put the trail cameras out there. I think the price quoted was, John, I don't have that off the top of my head. I think that was about $300 as well, having them all installed, batteries purchased, installed, and batteries for them initially, correct? And then $100 a month for maintenance. Does that sound right?
Yes, that is correct.
So I make the motion that we do that. And when I say they, this is, help me with the name. This is going to be the people that do the majority of the maintenance and the people that we've been paying to clean up and everything.
Yes, yes. He offered to monitor the cameras and make sure that the batteries stay good for $100 a month after the
Okay.
initial install.
Okay. So I make the motion, we get those installed. And John, what's the name of the company that does it for this?
TNT Services.
ENT Services. All right. Thank you.
Will they
So
have
sorry, it
an
was a really
internet feed?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Will they have an internet feed that we can log into them and check them if we want to?
No, I believe it'll be recorded to an SD card. That's why we're paying the $100. He's gonna go out and review the footage, and if there's anything of interest, or if he finds the dumping, he'll be the first one. He's always our first responder. He's the one that's there that notices it. So it'll basically be when he notices it, then he'll check the cameras and check the SD card that'll be installed. If we want to do a whole network camera setup thing, that's going to be a much greater cost. And hopefully we do this for a couple months and the sign works, and then we don't have to keep doing it.
I second it.
I'm on board.
All right. All right. Thank you, Don.
All right. Did you want to vote on that?
You guys just did.
Well, if you didn't, okay.
You,
Get
you
the motion
motioned,
to-
they seconded it. That is it. That is it.
Okay.
Motion carries to
All right.
have the sign installed and having the trail cams installed.
All right.
Second agenda item, and I guess I'll cover this a little bit more because this is something that I was more involved with. Per the 2024 legislative update, which is going to go into effect most likely July 1st of this year or around whenever Governor DeSantis signs it. One of the new requirements is that all HOA homeowners associations over 100 parcels or more will be required to have a website, and will be required to, the website needs to be accessible via mobile on phones, and it needs to have certain things such as the documents. I believe it will be required to have the names and the titles of the officers or the board of directors, the ARC requirements, which you guys don't have any, but they're supposed to be on this website. And then the documents. I believe it will be required to have the names and the titles of the officers or the board of directors,
the ARC requirements, which you guys don't have any, but they're supposed to be on this website. And then documents.
Smitty, you got to keep your camera. You got to keep
I
yourself
believe
muted,
it's
my
required to have
friend.
the names and the titles of the officers or the board of directors. The ARC requirements, which you guys don't have any, but they're supposed to be on this website. And then documents.
Smitty, you got to keep your camera. You got to keep yourself muted.
Can you hear me?
Names and the titles of
I can
the
hear
you hear me?
everything.
or board of
Please mute
directors.
please mute yourself. I don't know
The
for some
ARC
reason it's
requirements, which you guys don't have any, but they're supposed to be on this website.
not letting me mute you anymore.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you and just you now. Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you. I got kicked out and I can't get a camera. So, but I am in a voice.
Okay. That's fine as long as I'm not hearing myself.
Okay.
Okay, so the so basically the website service that we recommend is $300 a year plus the cost for the domain, so we're estimating about $315 a year. It will normally Park Lane charges $500 to set up a website, and then we have a monthly fee that we charge for maintenance. By maintenance, I simply mean uploading meeting minutes and things like that, whatever changes need to be done. And most of the community association websites that we have, there's usually like a member section where they sign in and all that kind of stuff. So you guys the Villages is an association of 908 members. That is going to be ridiculously a large number to be in compliance, and I don't believe a lot of that membership stuff is required to be in compliance. So our intention is we're going to set you guys up with a very, very basic website that's going to basically be absolutely minimal. It'll only have on it what is absolutely required by the Florida statute. There will be no member section on it, so there will be no need for regular updates or changes to it. There'll be no monitoring of everything is basically going to be open to the public.
Basically be absolutely minimal. It'll only have on it
Smitty,
what is absolutely
please mute
required
yourself.
by the statute. There will be no member section on it, so there will be no need for regular updates.
All right. So that's basically what our plan is. I was talking to my supervisor, and we're only going to charge Park Lane is only going to charge half of our normal setup fee to basically set it up. That's basically we'll go through the process with the vendor. We're going to set it up. We're going to get you guys a domain name. We'll upload the documents. We will have the meeting minutes and the forms and procedures for the board of directors or for the members. Everything will be open to the public. Since none of it's really going to have any personally identifiable information on it, with the exception of the names of the board of directors. And I'm going to double check that before we put that up anyway, as to whether or not that's actually required. So, but that will be, that's basically what we're looking that it's going to have is those 4 things on it. And as I said, that's going to basically be a requirement by the Florida statute. We're just going to try to help you guys out by keeping everything open to the public without the membership requirement. And then basically the only time that we'll have to update it will be, oh yeah, the budgets have to go on it too. So basically the only time that it'll need to be updated will be twice a year. After the annual meeting, we'll upload the annual meeting minutes. After the budget meeting, we'll upload the budget meeting minutes and a copy of the budget. And that's basically going to be it. We're going to try to make it as simple as possible because I know you guys didn't technically budget for this expense this year and we have to do it anyway. And then we'll of course be adding this to the budget for next year. So did anybody have any questions?
And I'm sorry, John, what was the annual price then? The total price?
So it's going to be about 315 a month. It's 300 for the service plus a domain fee. So and they're quoting us 15 for the domain.
Oh, you said a month?
No, a year. I'm sorry.
Oh,
300 for the
okay.
Yeah. No. 300 for the year
I
plus
say,
15.
I'm in the
So
wrong business.
we're looking at about 315 for the whole year.
Okay, yeah, and this is going to be one of these mandatory things coming July 1st. It's not much you can do about it. I know there's a couple different HOA changes. I got to go through the different regulations and try to decipher that code. But in the meantime, since we're not going to be meeting before then, and it is mandatory, I don't know, can they slap us with a fine, or what can the penalties be if we are not in compliance with something like this?
I assume they could probably slap us with a fine. Typically it's the, and I should know this because I just got my license, but it's the Division of Florida Timeshares and Association, whatever. It's a division within the DVPR, and they're the ones that kind of monitor all this stuff. So if somebody reported us, they would be the ones that would come after us. I don't know what the fines are going to be, but I can guarantee you it's going to be more than $300.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to be, yeah, it's going to be, again, return on investment. It's going to be a lot better. $315 annually. Okay, so I make the motion that Park Lane sets up and maintains the website in compliance with the governor's new rules starting July 1st.
This is Dave Akers. I second it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Do you guys, I know I had emailed you guys the templates. I don't know if you had a chance to look at them. I will resend them to you because they had 4 different designs that you can choose from. If you guys have a preference, if you don't, I'll just pick one.
I personally don't have a preference.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd go back and take a look, but you know what? Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. I trust your taste, John. So
Okay. I mean, they're all really professional. You can't really go wrong with any of them. Because again, we're not designing them technically. They're all being designed by the service, and they do HOA websites for a living. I mean, it's in their name. They're literally hosted by HOA sites. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, the third item on the agenda was the vote on the board size. So let me take a minute to explain exactly what and what I mean by this. So in the docs, your board you have an initial board size of between 3 and 7. Your board size was 5 as of the annual meeting 2 years ago when we established the new board. That was based on the number of people that submitted the nomination forms. Yes, Roger resigned, so now you have 4. Technically, what that means is because you can go up to 9, you have 4 vacancies on your board. The downside, the issue that we could find ourselves in is with a board size structured this way. If at the annual meeting, 4 people submit nomination forms, they're automatically on the board. Now you have a 9-member board, and it makes doing our board meetings more complicated if we can't get a quorum of the board to meet. So that being said, what we're recommending is that the board can vote on what the board size is at any duly held meeting that is more than 60 days before the annual, which this is, which is why we're going to do it today. So I am recommending that you reduce it to 5. And what this basically means is that at the next annual meeting, there will be 1 vacancy on the board. Keep in mind the board could vote to reduce it to 3 if they like, or 7, or keep it as is. I think for a community of this size, depending on the activity and the interest that people have, it's not a very hard job. But that is, I think if we keep it at 5, I think that's good, especially for the number of communities. I like having good representation with our communities here on the villages. So that's why I'm recommending 5. One of the things to note is basically because we will never have a quorum at an annual meeting, we will never have an election. That's just the nature of it. So I want to take a couple minutes to explain how that's going to work for you guys. So what that means is that at the annual meeting, anyone that submits a nomination form, if there are equal or less nominees and there are vacancies, they will automatically be added to the board. So in this case, you have one vacancy. If at the next annual meeting, one person submits a nomination form, they're on the board. Now, if let's say 2 people submit a nomination form, then obviously they both can't be on the board. So what would happen is the board carries over, and then at the next duly held board meeting, the board can appoint somebody to fill the vacancy. So, and essentially, and what we would probably do is recommend that you select from the nominees. So if 2 people nominate for one vacancy, essentially the board will, at the next meeting, will appoint one of those people to sit on the board, and then that will be the 5th board member. And then vacancies will come up on the board as people step down if they so decide they want to do so. Otherwise, because there is no official annual meeting, the board will literally carry over from year to year to year. And that is unfortunately the nature of the fact, because the bylaws require 30% to have a quorum of members, and you have 908 members, and I can't even get 100 people to submit proxies. There's no way I'm going to get 300 people to submit proxies for us to have an official meeting. So basically, by voting to limit it to 5, we're limiting the number of potential vacancies at every annual meeting. That is basically what you're doing. Otherwise, it can overcomplicate things by getting too many people on the board. If people don't show up at meetings, and then when we do actually need to have a meeting, then we can't. So that is why we're recommending 5, since we currently have 4 members. Of course, if you voted to go to 3, then that would mean one of the members would need to step down between now and the annual meeting. But otherwise, I would recommend keeping it at 5. So
I agree with you. I recommend keeping it at 5 also.
so
Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't realize it was 9 at this point. I thought it was 5.
yeah, because I checked that since since our annual meeting, when we kind of officially started, we kind of officially took over for the developer, which seemed like it took for a long time.
Yeah.
But when we kind of officially took over at the annual meeting where all of you guys submitted your nomination forms, that was kind of our first official meeting. And since then, you guys have not voted on the board size, and kind of the way the way the bylaws are written, it's a little it allows for the board to basically pick the size. So if somebody would like to make a motion to set it to 5, then we will do that.
Dave Akers, I'm making a motion to keep it at 5.
I second the motion.
Yeah.
I think that's a good number, and there is an availability right there. So we're not like, being communists or anything like that, and just trying to hold on to everything. So it's definitely
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
manageable.
Yes, and I think if other people want to join, like let's say we do have at the next annual meeting, 2 people do submit for the one vacancy, and then somebody on the board is like, you know what, I'm happy stepping down. They can step down, and bam, the board can appoint those 2 people and call it a day. It's going to be a little bit different. It'll be on the board to basically we'll be picking the future board members rather than the membership. It's just an unfortunate way the developer wrote the docs. I wish he had not done it that way and called for a lower quorum, like 5% or something. Um, but alas, he did not. So, all right. Thank you, gentlemen. That was the last thing I had. Does the board have anything that they would like to uh bring up?
I have nothing.
Does
I have nothing. I'm good.
we somebody in the chat mentioned that they're interested in serving on the village's board. We do. uh, Give me let me see if I can give me 1 second, Mr. Jeff.
Now, for whoever it is, as long as they know all new members have to pull 12-hour guard shifts at that dump site every weekend. Just be aware of that.
No, actually, the scariest thing is you're literally going to have to take a 4-hour course. All right, not now. Let's see. Uh, okay. All right, Jeff, give me 1 second. I'm going to drop a phone number in the chat. Um, if you would like to call in, we'll put you into the meeting, and if you want to say a little bit about yourself, I mean, and what community you're with and all that fun stuff. Just give me 1 second. Let me go look up oh wait, it's on my calendar. That'd be the easiest thing to find. Uh, calendar. Phone number. And let me give you the I wasn't actually expecting this, so I appreciate you being here. All right. Yeah. Meeting. Okay. There we go. All right, Jeff. Come on in with the meeting, and then we'll open up the floor to you for a couple minutes. We'll let you introduce yourself and Can I get? Oh. And I just realized that I signed into YouTube, into my personal YouTube to post the chats, and now YouTube is going to send me all kinds of wonky recommendations from now until the end of time. Uh, oh, can I do? All right, I'm going to do this. I should have done it this way the first time. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm putting it on screen for you. Make life easier. All right, got it. Thanks, Jeff. That's where the last few times we've done this, there's either been nobody in chat or there's no comments or anything. So, Hey, Jeff, is that you?
Hey there. Hey there. How
Hey,
you doing?
good. Oh, crap on a cracker. You're not actually going to be able to see the chat, are you? The in
No.
Zoom chat. I was going to have you send me your address so I could make sure I got it because I don't want you to post that on the live stream. So everybody, I don't want to dox you here. So just tell me a little bit of, let us know what association you're with and a little bit about yourself. And then if the board is happy, I mean, hell, they could appoint you at the meeting if they like right now. So I am,
Okay.
but yeah, let us know what's going on.
Okay. I'm currently the vice president of the River Ridge Country Club Homeowners Association,
Oh,
and have been on that board for 2.5, almost 3 years.
okay.
Okay. A little bit of background about me. Retired. That's the big one. Actually, a retired educator. Taught at a technical college in Wisconsin for 24 years, and just have become very, very interested in the association and the associations around the area here.
Um, all right. Oh, let me do this. Let me do me a favor. I'm gonna put my email address up on screen. And would you email me?
And I'm going to see if I can get you back on screen here.
Okay. It'll just be easier if I email it. Or if you email me. And then email me your, especially for you guys, because um we don't have accounts on villages people on country club people because you guys
Right?
pay through your homeowners association. So just email
Right.
me your address, updated phone number and email. I'm assuming, of course,
Okay.
that the board's going to vote to appoint you to the so assuming that the board's going to vote to appoint you, um, and I'll throw the floor up to them and in case they want to talk to you, have any questions. But yeah, assuming that, just go ahead and email me at my email address, and I'll get you what you need tomorrow.
Hey, Jeff, which technical college did you work at up north there? Still with us?
I muted a bunch of people came and joined the chat. So
Yeah.
started muting people because again they were getting all kinds of reverb. I'm happy to open up the floor if anybody else has anything else that they would like to add, but um this is one of the reasons why I don't make the phone number public in the beginning
Right.
because that way we can conduct the meeting and then we get to the end and then we can have our little interaction with the members. Um
Well, I make the motion that we bring Jeff on board since he's anxious as current vice president of another sub-community and a retired educator. I think he'd make a perfect fit, perfect addition to our team.
Dave Akers, I second it.
All right. Awesome. Jeff, go ahead and email me tonight or tomorrow and I'll get you added to the report. Um and then awesome. We're back to 5 members. That's great. I will open up the floor to the other two. It looks like two other people jumped in on the chat when I had the phone number posted. So if you guys have anything you would like to ask of the board, um, now is your time. You may unmute yourself and ask whatever question you have if you like. Let me go back. All right then. Since there's no comments, um, I guess we can go ahead and, next meeting will most likely be the budget meeting. We'll probably hold that in September or in October. I'd like to hold that I'd like to hold it early enough so that all of the sub-associations, especially those that pay the annual dues through their monthly association, have time to budget for that. So, you can expect the budget meeting to probably be the end of September, early October. Unless something else comes up that we need to have a meeting prior to that. And then and if there's nothing else from the board, then I will motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
All right. Don seconds. Meeting is adjourned at 6:13 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, board members. I know Smitty had some issues, unfortunately, but that's to happen. None of us. It's like when I started doing this, it's like, none of us are YouTubers. We all have our own things and we just do this because it's the most convenient way for everybody else. So, I appreciate everybody and thank you all for coming.
All right, John. Hey, if you can get the rest of the board members Jeff's email address, if you can just get that to us.
Yes,
Appreciate
absolutely. I'll send out some mass emails and stuff.
And then when we get that email, that website up and running, you're going to send out another email on that.
Yes. We also need to come up with a domain name too. So it's probably going to be something like Villages. Yeah. So like off the top of my head, the villagesnpr.org is available. It's nice, it's short. Also do Villages at River Ridge. Is that available? Villages at River Ridge is also available. So
that sounds like a good one.
So yeah, I'll email you guys tomorrow. Well, after I get Jeff's contact info, I'll send out an email to the board regarding the website. I'll look to see what domains are available, and that way you guys can pick one that you think you like.
Sounds good, John. Appreciate everything you do.
All right. Have a good night.